Does anybody else work in chaos like me? I have to have like 2 or 3 drinks, coffee, water, and something else, and then all my things must be with me. But today, I have been continuing my work on the trauma informed freediving manual and process. And if we haven't met before, my name's Elaine, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a research psychologist. I'm also a certified complex post traumatic stress disorder specialist. And so for the past 2 years, my mission has been to create some sort of informed practice for freedivers, freedive instructors, and hopefully clinicians who also freedive like myself, to bring a trauma-informed awareness to the space of freediving, to this water world that we all spend so much time in. So today I've been looking at what I call the revealing process. Now, have you ever been on a dive and let's say you're at any given depth? I'll pick one of my stuck points was 20. So I'm at the down there. Now I have all the pressure. You might be thinking, it's only 2 hemispheres, Elaine. What's the big deal? Well, if you have trauma in your past, compression can feel like a trigger. Have you ever considered that? So if you've had situations in your past, in your life, where you had to shrink down and create tension in the body, like constriction and restriction, I kind of am postulating or hypothesizing that when we are at depth, this remembers the body. This situation brings the body back to a remembrance of the time where I couldn't breathe. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't expand. Now you add the wetsuit to that process, especially on the diaphragm area, especially like if you have like fluffy stuff happening there in the middle. This can cause a trauma or an adverse kind of dive response. Yeah. So check this out. I don't know if you can see that greatly. One day I'll get my tech updated here. But listen, so we're in a relaxed state body. So our emotion or feeling brain decides to release or re-experience something from the past. And because physiologically, listen to this, because physiologically we are in our mammalian dive response. So we have the physiological components of relaxation. But if you have trauma in your past, this is going to cause a mixed state in your body. And so the emotional brain will go, so Elaine's nice and relaxed. Let's get to the surface. We do our recovery breaths. Ooh, let's release some feelings that have been stored up. You are in prime condition to do that. But should you do that on the float? Probably not. So because the emotional brain wants to tap into those most pressing concerns as soon as you're relaxed, this can cause some tension. And this is part of like old feelings kind of, coming up, which kind of makes sense. But if we take this trauma-informed perspective, then we want to recognize that these changes to the nervous system that happen during a dive are normal. It's a normal place to be. It's okay. And we want to make sure that we focus on our breathing, not to jump right back into relaxation. Of course, that would be a benefit. But because when we compress ourselves, when we shrink ourselves up, we are interfering with our CO2 off gassing because we're building that compression back into the system. So we want to make sure after our recovery breaths and our surface protocol is, observed, that we do some breathing and we make sure that we are back in focus. And if we have someone on the float we can talk to, maybe we could like briefly release. But because these things are coming up at the end of your dive, this is a great thing to journal about as soon as you get your butt to land. In fact, if you wanted to, you could take a minute, grab your GoPro or your whatever you're shooting with, make a video, record yourself talking about what happened, and then later you can process it. Why waste that valuable information when it's coming right up as soon as you're at the float? Some other things to look for while we're diving, other manifestations of trauma responses could be dissociation, checking out when you shouldn't, being a distracted diver. Your MDR is taking a very long time, or it's just not showing up because your heart rate's too high, your breathing is too much, maybe you're blinking a lot. These are signs of someone who's in a state of tension or anxiety. Your heart rate's too low. You don't feel power in your body, you feel weak, maybe having some EQ issues, having a lot of yawning. That's a dorsal vagal response. And that is a sign of someone shutting down. Now, from a safety perspective, that has other issues in the freediving realm, but I'm not going to address that right now. And we're also looking at time loss, early turns, hip pain, low back pain, and propulsion issues. Kicks are not effective. And somebody who's just like not paying attention. Something's going on. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that today. That's what I've been working on. Please double tap, like tap my head, give me a little bit of love to help the algorithm give me a little bit of love. And if you enjoyed the video, leave some comments below if you have questions. Also, you can feel free to email me, DM me at The Underwater Therapist, or Elaine at theunderwatertherapist.com. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.